Is she yawning?
Oh, too late.
Thanks.
Got the back end of that yawn.
Delightful.
The cat is gonna give me a fucking aneurysm. Hi there.
Yo.
I'm Dustin. I've got a bad animal doing some bad shit over there.
Tired, that's how I am. Hi, Brian. I'm Ryan. And I'm tired.
Let me make a little space over here.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
Something like that.
Bang, bang, bang.
I'm not 100% sure exactly what we're going to do today, but we're going to do something.
Woo!
Just for funsies, since we're dabbling in this stuff recently anyway. I've got,
God dang funsies.
I got this thing. I don't know if it looks like anything on the camera. But it's the GameCube controller adapter. Originally released for the Nintendo Switch. So
tired funsies indeed. You are correct, sir.
I'm gonna plug it into this computer and see what it looks like when I do that.
And we're gonna panic. That's what at least that's what I'm gonna do. That was my plan. My planic.
Let's try the black one first. There's 2 USB ports. One is for Rumble.
The other is for Booty.
Setting up device.
Step 1 is panic. Thank you for noticing.
Alright. Let's see. If I do...
Yes, bub?
Let's peel back the curtain here on the extremely elegant and nuanced manner in which I usually test controllers on here. Although that's interesting.
Yes, I think it is. Nice cat, though. Hi, bub. What are you sitting pretty up there?
Oh, okay, so that's not a controller, in which case we might not be messing with this today. So we go over here. By go over here, I mean I'll drag this window in.
Yeah, she's being a bub. Are you be good this stream?
Exit port controllers usually show up on here, including this blanked out one, which that might be like, I don't know, a wireless switch controller or something. This adapter is down here. And it's just like a USB device that this thing doesn't understand.
Same.
So yeah, I'm thinking maybe we're not actually gonna mess with this today.
Whoop woo, whoop woo, whoop woo.
This device cannot start.
Same.
Top level collection was declared without a usage or with more than one usage. Well then.
I've been told that I have both. Step 2 is change plans.
Device configured, device not started. Interesting. Well, just out of curiosity, let's connect the other port, and then I'll maybe connect the other one of these because I have a different this is technically the one Nintendo sold. I have another third-party one. That, but yeah, it looks like this other USB doesn't do anything, which I'm not super surprised by. Yeah, okay. How about you, other device? See, this one's got a switch.
Go.
This
Hi.
one has a...
Hello.
I'll be interested to see what happens here if I, I just recognized it the same way, I think. So let's flip this switch here. Okay.
Okay.
That's definitely different.
Good different or bad different? Or indifferent?
Okay, so this one does work. If you flip the switch in the back. So plus
switch.
Let's give a credit to where credit's due. For yeah, this May Flash GameCube to Wii U PC adapter. Yeah, it's got a switch that says PC, and when you flip the PC switch, it does switch it to like an X input device. Forget where I'm looking for. Nope. Maybe game controller settings? Oh, come on. Oh my god. Okay, and so it does in fact, that's interesting. It does bust them out into like 4 separate joysticks. So, for example, we've got our good old GameCube controller over here.
Wow.
I'm gonna guess these are in linear order, although maybe not. So if I look at the properties for the second one, I'm hoping that since this is plugged into the second slot, I might be rewarded. Yeah, okay. I gotta move this over here. I can get the cursor to obey me.
Never.
Yeah, that's me pushing buttons.
Amazing.
Look at that. GameCube and those analog triggers, very ahead of its time, honestly. Okay. D-pad works, shitty as it is. Alright. Well, how about that shit? Again, let's just, so if I go to the first one over here, yeah, doesn't do anything until swap the slot, and then sure enough, we have input.
Wow. Okay. Amazing.
Well, consider me pleasantly surprised that the
yeah, buddy,
the third-party one of these is way better than the official one.
Amazing.
So shit, with that in mind, maybe we'll do this today just for funsies and just to hang out. So let's go over to, I actually need to bring up another file. Hold the phone here. How are you doing, Lorraine? How is,
doing alright, like I said, just kind of a bit tired. Still sort of recovering from Sunday, like earlier this week, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But otherwise, it was a pretty average week. Had a birthday celebration at work today because I am not working on my birthday, and everyone was there, so I was called over on the pretense of quote unquote we were having a meeting, is what I was told. And then I was given a card and we had bagels. The funnier part of that was just how we went about eating them inside. We were all over the shop. I was sitting alone on the decorator side. Alex went into the clay room. John was over by like the Blunger Mill and the Stoneware Pug Mill. Melinda was on the stairs and Anne was by the glaze. So we were like literally as far apart as we could be, essentially, in the shop, eating bagels at like 10 o'clock or whatever.
That's cool. I like bagels. That's one of those things I've been thinking. I've thought a lot about
bagels.
Sort of random cooking nonsense. Just over, I don't know, just recently. This past week I made a bunch of stuff. But again, I've always categorized stuff into like the things that are worth making on your own versus things that are purchasable and like the relative quality and effort thereof. And I don't know if there's any good bagel places really around here. Like, there's a lot of good food that I would stand up for that you can get in Southeast Michigan, but bagels are like good bagels. I wouldn't say are necessarily one of them. Like ones from the grocery store are like, I don't know, C tier in my opinion. I'll eat them, but they're not amazing. And making your own bagels is a fucking pain in the ass. I've looked it up because I was like, well, I could go for a good bagel. What's the bagel making process? And it's just an irritating slog as far as I'm concerned. Which I will personally call like anything, like any food stuff that takes more than like 2 hours to prepare. I'm like, maybe not. That's just like where I draw the line internally on like how much worth the effort it is to eat a thing. And with like baking of that caliber, it's like, all right, you gotta get the dough and then let it rise and then chill it for 10 hours and then with the bagels I think you're supposed to like boil them at some point and then like fry them or something. Like I forget, it's a whole thing, but it's like making a good bagel is not easy, so props to the bakers out there who do that shit. But for me, I was just like, nope, that's not, I love a good bagel, but it's just not worth the trouble. It's too much fucking bullshit.
We got them from, they were bought at Dunkin', I believe.
Okay. How'd you classify them? A good bagel to me is like a good French fry, but even more so. Whereas like I'll be satisfied with French fries all over the spectrum, but I'm always kind of disappointed when I get bagels and they're basically just exactly like bread. But when I get a bagel that's like extremely crisp and crunchy on the outside and like nice and chewy, like in the deeper bready part, like that's a bagel right there.
It's a bagel.
Because yeah, the ones you get from like Meijer or Kroger or whatever, it's like, oh, this is bread shaped in a circle, which is fine. Like it's it's edible. It's a convenient enough form factor to eat a food in, but I wouldn't qualify them as good bagels by any means. Anyway, I'm from Bagel Talk. I don't know why it closed the editor there.
That is a good question.
I've got this other tax document that has the inputs for these other controllers in it.
Tax document for a second, and I was like, why?
That I've been keeping for myself.
You've been keeping our taxes to yourself?
No.
Yeah.
So let's type in okay. And then check my math on this just so I'm matching all these inputs correctly. But that sure looks like the XY axis to me, does it not?
I would say so.
It's interesting that like this trigger might be a little finicky. That's okay. Right stick is Z axis and rotation. Right stick is plus up down is plus minus Z axis.
Same.
And left right is Z rotation. Yep. Okay. D-pad is D-pad. Oh, and it's buttons. Interesting. I don't think I've actually seen any of these other ones mapped that way before. So the D-pad has both. Do you see the little point of view thing over there?
Uh-huh.
So it's got that, and that's where all these other controllers I've tested have ended, but it also activates the, like, if you look at the buttons. So that's what, like, 12. I can't see the numbers from, like...
Yeah, they're indecipherable to me. I'm in a much weirder angle.
14, 15.
Than you.
It's 13, 14, 15, 16. But yeah, every other controller I've tested so far has not had the D-pad mapped to two things, so that's interesting.
A thing can be two things, Dustin.
So I guess I might as well make a note of it.
Make a note of it. Yep.
Up to 12 question mark. $13, $14, $15, $16. Come back to 11 and 12. That might actually not be accurate. We'll see once I map all these other buttons. So 13 is up. 14 is right. Assuming 15 is D-pad down. Nope. Oh my god. Yeah, 16 is left. What have you been up to lately, Brian? How's it going? As I fiddle with controllers and get my sleeves caught on things.
As you do.
Oops. Come back over here. Mouse.
Squeak, squeak.
Okay. So this is one. So I can just go from there to find everything else.
Yeah, I know. Getting to apparently secret relationships up in here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not see those messages? You probably weren't paying attention to the chat earlier. Our Facebook thing.
Oh, I might not have, because I'm bad.
Heckin' secrets. That's why somebody wasn't in my art stream yesterday. Goodness me.
That's exciting. Did I throw a string across the room?
That's exciting.
No, it's not. Only one of those things is exciting, and the one where I throw a string across the room is not exciting. X is number 1. A is number 2. Oops.
When were you going to tell your father and I about this, Brian?
Right now, I guess.
No, it was earlier. You wingus.
Oops.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
fucking B is number 3. I'm telling you, that goes with my and Y is number 4. That one matches up. I typed the wrong thing here.
That's fair. I'm teasing. I'm having fun. I'm fooling over here.
Okay, and so this one, I am not surprised that is 2 different inputs, which is also different than any of the controllers. But
well, good for you, Brian.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congrats.
Left trigger 0 or X rotation. Excuse me.
You're not the only one who's found love in a COVID place.
Well, that's, like I said, I forget what I called it, but my my unified theory of something COVID relationship nonsense is, I stand by it.
I don't know what that was.
I still predict that that the end of the, like, as the coronavirus fucking, God willing, winds down at some point, that it will spawn a drastic increase in both existing relationships ending and fresh relationships lasting. Like I think it will spawn a lot of new long-lasting relationships and result in the end of a lot of pre-existing relationships that were ongoing for like 1 or more years prior to this.
Dang.
But that's cool. That's very exciting. I don't know why it was so hard for me to. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. You got all those. GameCube controller doesn't have a left bumper, so we're just gonna go none.
What up, buddy?
And I guess I'll rename it. I'll go ZL, since that's the Nintendo parlance these days, right?
Yes.
Z. That's actually 8.
Fucking 8.
Okay. Alright, let's get rid of a bunch of these until we remap them. No L3 or R3 because it's a GameCube controller.
Right on. I can feel that.
So we're almost done. We just need the start button, I guess, because that's all the the trigger pushes are. So yeah, when the trigger bottoms out, that's 5 and 6. So there we go. I lied.
I still like thinking about as if like online dating and just dating in general weren't hard enough pre 2020. I think I said it on one of our podcasts or maybe on here or something like that. I wouldn't have survived it. I would have despair. That's what would have happened. Would have retreated more and more inward and suffocated. So
it's the opposite, actually.
Keeping things hopeful or whatever.
Well, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm willing to to express extremely cautious optimism that things are gonna fucking get better. But I sure want them to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So little stuff like that never hurts. Just like I said, hearing the people are making new plans and getting into new relationships, or whatever. Any of that stuff is good. Okay, and then start is 8, 9, 10. Alright, I think that's everything. And then those other two, I guess, are just nothing on the GameCube controller. Just kind of interesting. Alright, Lorraine.
Gross. What do you want from me?
I want you to check my math after I...
Ew. Nah.
This is, like I said, this is basically just a reference that I'll go put into a code file at some point. But so it's the left stick.
Okay.
Right stick is up and down. Positive, negative, Z. Z axis. Left and right is Z rotation. D-pad is that hat and those other 3 buttons, or those other 4 buttons. And then the face buttons are X is 1. Yep. A is 2, B is 3, Y is 4. Left trigger click is 5. Right trigger click is 6. 7 appears to be nothing. 8 is ZR. That's right. 9 appears to be nothing. 10 is start. Okay. That's everything. And 11 and 12 are also nothing. All right. Okay. GameCube controller mapped.
Awesome.
Awesome. So we can close this. Close this. I'm going to leave this open, but I'm actually going to drag it back onto my screen over here.
Away it goes.
And then we open that Unity window, which shrank down for some reason. And that Visual Studio window, which is the one I actually need.
That's a lie.
And then I forget which one of these input files we actually need to do this. Not this one, I don't think. Never mind, maybe it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it totally is. And those are the ones I need from Unity. Let's see what happens if I just launch it. Oh, because I didn't look at the...
What mad? Why is it mad?
Just couldn't find a controller that's valid.
The GameCube controller is valid. Got him.
Let's try to plug that in again. I could also just Google it, I guess, but... Okay, it's just Mayflash GameCube controller adapter. Let me copy this. Let's find out. This is going to need to be that long. And, oop. Okay.
Fantastic.
Go ahead and add this here too. Whoops.
Freaking pocket controller. Isn't it technically GNC?
Gamed in... I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm
gonna... It doesn't matter. It can be whatever we want it to be. See, I can't imagine. It would either have to be GCN or NGC.
It was. I feel like it was something stupid.
Because GameCube Nintendo is already stupid. That's what the GCN is. I could have
sworn it was different though.
But it was GNC. That doesn't make sense in any way. Like if it was the Nintendo, if it was the Nintendo GameCube, then you put the N at the start. But like putting it between the G and the C, that's just further madness. That's a lunacy I'm not willing to entertain right at this moment. Okay, yep. Controller, PS4, Pokken. I'll put it after Pokken. Since that's the way the other ones are all sorted anyway.
This is like an IGN article stating that Nintendo Japan is referring to the GameCube in abbreviated form as GC. So Nintendo of America and Europe have had to turn around and register yet another abbreviation, GCN. Nintendo of America felt it was necessary to propagate the Nintendo brand name in the Americas, so it insisted on having an N in the abbreviation. I can affirm keep it in front of the GC. We just don't know and actually find the new abbreviation very unattractive. If you don't think it's serious about GCN, consider the fact that it also applied the trademark the trademark abbreviation GCN. Thanks IGN from 2000.
Indeed.
The more you know.
Well, that's funny. If we did want to implement the exact same controls across everything and did want to do this, I guess we could. You know what? I'm gonna map stuff to the if it comes down to it, which who cares? Because I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. But I might just map. Like I might leave Z unmapped on the GameCube and map the actual bumper functionality to the click on the triggers. But in any case,
and you can put whatever you want in there, though. So who cares? Nothing matters, right?
Look back at my document that I typed out now.
I glanced at the chat for a second and just saw boiled and baked from back when we were talking about bagels, and I was just momentarily confused. But I'm better now. That's all.
Oh, no, X was 1. That's not right. So you want this to be 2.
Help. My brain's a little mushy right now. Leave me alone.
Which one is the B? Is like the alt fire, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one we want to be 1. And then map is Y.
I said X was 1.
So that's 4. X is 1. That's why I put A as 1 first, because this is alt weapon. Oh, and I might have screwed this up. That's okay, we'll fix it.
No, we won't. That freaking wind, I hate it. Because I'm pretty sure it's because of that, like, tarp that's on your, like, parents' fence or whatever. Keeps getting caught because the wind is gusting and it just keeps, like, banging or whatever. Scaring the heck out of me. It's basically that.
That's 4. That's 2. That's 1. Okay. Left bumper is. I'm gonna just map to the clicks. 5. 6. That's all those. Start was 10. And so, just to give a little context for the uninitiated, what we're doing here is these are all these strings I'm putting in here that I'm changing slightly.
Button mapping?
Yeah, so the Unity editor itself has a button mapping function that if you wanted to be kind of simple about it, like again, it's just like everything else in Unity, where you can be as complicated or as simple as you kind of want to be. So if you had a very simple game that just had like 3 or 4 inputs and you weren't porting it to any other platforms, you just knew it was going to use the fucking keyboard or whatever, you wouldn't need to do anything necessarily other than just map
anything that we're doing.
That handful of buttons in here and just call it a fucking day, and not worrying about any of that shit. But because I wanted to build something way more dynamic, and because it kind of allows for it, basically mapped just like a ton of button inputs. So you'll see there's 16 different buttons mapped in here.
Gross.
And then a bunch of different axes for various joystick and trigger functions.
Mm-hmm.
And those all map to the way that I have mapped them in here, although you can set them up in here or whatever you want. Like, they don't need to be called, button or joy button or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can be,
booty call. And...
you can name whatever you want. So in the Unity editor, you could name that, like, attack button or whatever. And I think we did in some versions. Like, I think Cucumber's still like that, and I think Down the Drain used to be like that until I changed it up a bunch.
Definitely.
But when I started refactoring some of the stuff, I remapped all the stuff to just be like a blank template of how the X input works. So how that other... Because again, if we're bothering to stream the shit, we might as well be like 10% educational.
Gross! 15!
It's like when you come over here and I want to click properties again, I can bring up that window one more time. Where it shows how Windows interprets all the functions of the controllers. These are the X input mappings. So like the way Windows can recognize any controller is essentially with like a POV hat for the D-pad.
What does that mean?
6 to 8 axes for
what does the hat mean?
I don't know why it's like it's just they're stand-in for like an 8-way. Like I don't know why it's called that or just like an 8-way digital input basically.
Mew hat.
And then various axes and a suite of buttons. So as long as you have accounted for, X, Y, Z, axis rotation, hat, and I would say like anywhere between 10 and 20 buttons. Like I did 16 because I don't know. Like I think the PS5 controller is technically the one that has the most.
With the two,
because it's got both of the joystick clicks. It's got like the start and select. It's got the pad. The trackpad is a button. It's got this mute button, which is also a button that you can just map on PC to do something else if you were so inclined. You can make it gameplay relevant, even though that seems foolhardy. But yeah, the standardization that I did here in the Unity engine, which I'm ultimately going to go back and do in Cucumber someday too. Was to just map this 1-to-1 to the X input standard, and then in code, as the game detects individual types of controllers, we're just gonna type in here what they should be. And actually, these names are wrong because this is the one I didn't update. So so I actually just need to remove the prefix. Because they're all just button now.
Button, 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 button. Button, 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 button.
In fact, I've got those pocket controllers over there. We could test those two just for funsies. Because that was just like I said, I was just kind of messing with this stuff at some point. I was like, what controllers do I have in front of me? And I had a couple of those pocket controllers that we got at like GameStop at some point for like $6. So I was like, whatever. Let's see what happens.
Nothing. Yay.
So yeah, there's the context behind kind of one more layer of what's going on in terms of getting this stuff all set up. And then let's see. So yeah, that's just axis X, axis Y, because they changed these. Yeah, like see, these used to be horizontal, vertical. Those are now also correspond to the way axes are described in X input. Okay. And then the D-pad, we're just going to leave that blank for now because it's blanked out on the Xbox One also for the moment. Okay. All right. So I think that technically is functional. That said, if we run it, I'm not actually sure what's going to happen because there's not I don't remember how I set up the art stuff for this. There aren't assets for the GameCube one, so it might freak out immediately. It might freak out if we try to launch a thing that has the like UI that would have art
Mm.
on it, or it might do neither if I was smart enough to just like have it default to the Xbox One or something when you plug in a non-recognized controller.
I can't
I
wait.
bet it's not the last one.
I
Because I'm a
cannot
dum
wait.
dum. Okay, well it is working. Oh, although
Oh.
the stick is not. Huh. I wonder how that might need to be investigated. But those buttons are all working. It sure looks like.
You don't have a weapon.
That's true. Okay. Oh, right. I need to get more than one. 'Cause yeah, like so that is working. So
Technically.
tapping them
maybe.
doesn't do nothing.
Oh, the click. That's what you
Yeah.
mean.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how that. Because they should all be the same in terms of like gravity and stuff, and the it didn't look any different on the X input screen. Like, let's unplay this for a second.
I wanted to see if the menus can.
I mean, I can.
I just want to know.
Like, if we go back over to, I don't even think I still have that open. Here, I'll open up another one.
How dare you?
Go back over to here.
Is it supposed to go all the way to the edge?
Maybe it's not as. Maybe the GameCube it doesn't have. Let's check it out. Let's plug in a different controller here. Yeah, maybe it doesn't actually have the same.
Before you do that, can we see? I want to see the menu crash.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see what happens.
Sure.
We gotta. You can't set
I'm
that
about
up that
not-
tease.
I'm about 95% sure it's gonna flip a shit.
You can't just set it up and then not pay it out. Like, that's just rude.
Well, it didn't. Yeah, it did. Okay, it's like soft locked. It didn't throw an error. But I mean, we can go into the game screen too, and I'm sure it's gonna do the same thing. So if I like hit pause. Well, that screen's working.
Are you sure that control screen works?
Okay, look at that. I might be smarter than I gave myself credit for.
Might be.
Might be. Yeah, stop it. I don't care. Nope, I'm just trying to escape. Maybe the B button's not working here? So it won't let me... Huh. Oh, there it goes. No, yeah, B is not working on the menu screen. Oh, wait, that's not right. So the menu inputs are not the same for some reason. Because that was X that let me out of there. That's interesting. Huh. But it is working for the shield, which is what I would have expected. They're investigating, because I don't remember. I have to double check how that stuff is mapped. But... Okay. Alright, well, it's like 95% working.
That's something.
I'm very surprised. I'm smarter than I thought I was.
Good job. See, aren't you
Look at
glad
me
you
go.
tested it?
I guess so. Alright.
You should plug in a different controller. I want to see if it is.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I was going to say it looked identical, but I do think you're correct. I think it is.
Lorraine Wright, Mord 11. Oh my god.
I think it is not quite reaching the outer edges of there, so we'd have to
Compensate? Can you compensate for that? Like,
yeah, I can make more I could, if we really want to support GameCube controllers, I can just make another set of axes that are in the Unity editor are more sensitive. But the standard setting worked for
everything.
yeah, it worked. It didn't appear to be any different.
Interesting.
On the Xbox, between the Xbox and the PS5 controller, like they felt both fine. They felt almost identical. I'll pop over here again on my other monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
That's a
so,
good.
Yeah. So
like,
that's a GameCube controller problem.
Handful of pixels.
And again, just for the sake of doing all of them, let's close this out.
Yeah.
Swap this out for good old PS5 controller.
Might as well. That is really interesting. I wonder why that's a thing.
That's funny. Wouldn't have guessed. And the other thing is, I wonder if is it the controller hardware? Is it this adapter? I don't know.
Because, I mean, there's no way for you to get a normal GameCube controller into a PC without something like that.
No.
You have to have a pass through.
It would be some kind of USB interface.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because that looks about the same as the Xbox One, and it certainly feels the same in game. So, all right. Well then,
why didn't the Xbox have Z-axis or Z-rotation? It didn't have one of them.
I think it's because which one of these is another?
I just like watching the bars move. It's fun.
I know why. It's because the Xbox is weird where so the PS4 controller has each trigger as its own axis, and the Xbox controller maps them as positive and negative along the same axis. So it like starts in the center, and pulling this one makes it like if it's Z, pulling this one makes it like negative Z all the way if you push it all the way down, and pushing this one makes it positive Z all the way if you pull it all the way.
Is there any kind of like benefit to that? Like, is that a thing that affects anything at all?
I'm
like,
not
why
sure.
that choice?
It just happens to be the way that they set it up in like the firmware or
because
whatever.
the GameCubes had this orientation with like X and Y were a little bit in even.
So yeah, I couldn't tell you. I'm
weird.
Not sure.
Hardware's dumb. That's all.
Again, like I said, that's like the GameCube. See, there's no button input for these. It's just the hat. It's just interesting.
Mew hat.
That's all interesting.
I'm gonna just keep saying Mew hat. Take us back to what was that? Stats.
Something like that.
Mew hat.
Okay. So yeah, if we wanted to accommodate that.
Mew hat. Yeah, I did say statistics.
Because see, I do have there's
Oh no.
So I have D-pad XY and D-pad invert XY for if they were like if the axes were opposite or whatever. So I already do have some redundant ones in here, so we could do what do we want to call them? XY high, XY sensitive, XY sense. Let's grab this over here real quick.
Hi there, Paulette. Cuddling up by the vent because she's weird. Hi, Gooby. You were gone for a while. I typed in Mew hat statistics just to make sure I was right, and I'm looking at images of that, just that search. There's just graphs and charts. It's kind of giving me anxiety, but it's also kind of fun to look at. Sometimes you just gotta look at charts. Like, sometimes you just need charts. Even if you know nothing about what they mean, or have repressed that information from a semester of statistics.
Do you have any input on the naming convention for these other?
I mean, any of that stuff's fine. I'm lost in these charts. I'd love like a book of charts. Like, they didn't have to mean anything. They don't have to be connected at all. But just give me a book that just has a bunch of graphs in it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I like pretty colors. There's just a random...
Okay, so these, I don't want them inverted.
One piece image. That's weird.
And then we've got...
There's no filler. Not even statistics.
Not a small dead zone. And the sensitivity is higher. So... making these other ones more sensitive will be some combination of
good and bad.
The gravity and the sensitivity, probably.
If you want to make them more sensitive, just tell them they'll never be loved. Works for me.
So let's change these to like a 10, just for the heck of it. Let's see what that does. That's a lot, Lorraine. It's a lot for.
I know. I told you. I just spent like maybe 3 minutes looking at like random statistic graphs and charts. Like, we're like it's Friday for work for me. I don't have to go back until Tuesday even because I have my birthday off. Wow. We're digging into some repression over here. Like, we're getting painful. Things are hurting.
Oops.
Are you sure you spelled it the same?
Nope.
Great.
Let's
That's
go.
a confidence I can get behind. And have done.
That look the same?
That you're asking for me to read something at a weird angle far away. Like, I know I have glasses for a reason. See int.
Well, here. It'll be the same now.
No, they were wrong. Sensitive
right,
was
well,
wrong.
Which way is the right way to spell this word?
I don't know. Would it just use the way you have it? You're typed that was you're missing an I. I think. That one is the one you copied, so keep
Google
that one.
Will tell me.
Just use that. Who cares?
I just want to know.
No.
I've mistyped words in code in like a professional setting. Like I've misspelled things on like websites on like the back end, and it's been fine.
Who cares?
This is the correct way. The way I did it the first time.
All right.
You're right. Who cares? That's actually the correct answer. But
as long as the variables match up, whomest givest a shit.
I need to. I guess I should probably plug into the GameCube controller if we're gonna test the GameCube controller. Get out of your PS5.
Yeet. Hi, Buggy. Yeah? Don't do that. Don't scratch on the couch. No. You already destroyed the other one in the living room. You don't get to destroy this one, too.
I mean, she might.
Well, I'm gonna
Okay, so that did not solve our problem. Oh, it freaked out.
Well, it broke, first of all.
Did I not, like, save something or something?
Oh my god.
What's wrong here?
Everything is wrong.
Is it just, I might have just started it too quick.
Speedy. Oh, there we go.
Nope, that's even worse.
Not even
That doesn't do anything.
Yeah?
Does that number need to go down then?
I don't remember how that works.
Maybe higher sensitivity is like negative sensitivity. I don't remember either.
Hi. You're just here yelling? Okay.
Alright, so then
I know.
let's do
I too am bothered by the
0.5. Alright, let's try that. Oh wait, these gravity, that is way too high for the gravity. That's probably what it was. Because those were for the D-pad, because the D-pads are analog.
Ah, gotcha.
These are the ones they're supposed to be based on, so that should be something closer to something like this.
Something to something to
All right,
something.
well, in that case, we'll go back to our...
The 10, yeah.
So yeah, we'll do this at this value.
Yeah, that a big
and
grab.
This at 10. Just to see how...
Big grab whom did this?
Okay, let's try that.
Delightful.
Nope. Nope. It's freaking out again. Well, that's interesting. So it is having some kind of problem with the icon sometimes. So I'll have to look into that.
Why is it sometimes, though?
I don't know. That's... In many ways, that's more disappointing than if it were...
Partially smarter than you thought.
Yeah, apparently not. Nothing.
Huh.
Alright. Well, then let's do the other thing. Let's go back over here and make sure I even updated like the right thing, because that's always an option. It was,
No, I didn't put... I don't know, here. It says that.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's try the... No. Oh, that's fucking... Alright, there's something going on here with the way that I made these or something. Oh, that's the other thing that's wrong with them. Is again, these were the, I'm stupid. That's
Hooray!
So, alright, hold on. Stop all this. So let's leave the gravity the same. Let's put the sensitivity back to 1. Or to 10. Just as that's still our going hypothesis that making it up is technically more sensitive. And then what's actually wrong is there, so if we look at the other ones, axis X, it's x-axis, not axis 8 or whatever.
Ah.
There. And then axis Y is in fact this one. Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Woo!
Oh, that's it's different. It's not, huh? Like, that's real funky.
It's time to get funky.
So in this case, I'm thinking the gravity might actually have to be higher, and then maybe the sensitivity is okay because the.
Uh-oh. Bub, no, hey.
Hey, don't scratch the TV.
Hi.
Yeah, that feels real weird. Like, and in fact, it feels kind of like, I don't know if it's because of the, whoops. I'm trying to, oh, okay.
Colette.
I think it does have more to do with the, so if I, like, really feather the stick, it feels sort of normal. So I think part of the reason that it feels weird is because the GameCube has these, like, 8-way...
I was going to say, it's got, like, the notches around
it feels real strange.
Because it's not as smooth.
Yeah.
You're getting stuck on the... Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
But also, like, there's, like see, I'm kind of letting go, and it's, like, kind of snapping back.
Weird, almost drag to it. Huh.
So I think maybe I'll...
I mean, I think that's just going to need some tuning.
Let's increase the dead zone a tiny bit. Let's put that up to, like, point.
Give the dead zone, make it bigger.
And go ahead and change this to, like, some other number, like, just to play around with it. Let's just make it a number.
You know, we really shouldn't unit test. We really shouldn't.
Okay,
you're right.
You're right. That's fine.
Hi, Bubby.
Okay. So there's an arbitrarily bigger dead zone.
Bub, this is strange.
Hi, little cat.
Why are you making that face? Colette, why?
That might have helped a little bit.
I'd say it looks a little better.
Yeah. Still feels real weird. You know, I'm going to go ahead and not recommend that you play this game.
It's playable, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Arguably a lot of cost, because game
just going
controllers
up and
aren't
down,
as putable.
Like, I think it just might be the... let's try to turn the sensitivity back down. Let's go down from 10. Because that might be part of it, too, is that, like, I think part of what's actually happening is, like, if I'm really careful about it, with, like, one finger just nudging up a smidge, it feels normal. But with, like, a thumb, just kind of playing like you play a video game where it's not super precise, I think it's just so sensitive right now that it's getting a little bit of left-right pull more than I'm intending when I'm putting it in a different direction. So let's put this down to, like, 3.
Gotta let Marta wave dash. That's looking more normal. That's definitely looking closer.
Closer for sure.
Uh-huh.
Here, you give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we could look if you wanted to be real.
Oh yeah, that does feel really floaty.
If you wanted to be real scientific about it, we could go look over the You go look at the distance that the stick appears to travel on the X input thing, and try to guesstimate like what percentage less it is than the full throw that was on those other joysticks, and try to increase it by about that much.
Cause it's close. It's really close.
Here, I'm gonna play it. Which direction sensitivity you want? You want more or less?
I'm gonna say a little less. Go like 2.75. Let's start with there. You don't need.
Let's do 2.5.
Oh my god. Fine. Don't take my input.
I'm just not sure how much you're gonna even feel like that little of a step.
It's still just like I don't even know if I did anything, honestly.
Well, like I said, here's the other thing.
Oh my god.
Let's really go nuts. Let's go like because it was 1 on the other one, so let's go like 1.2.
Yes. We won't feel that change.
Relatively, that's an enormous change. It's less than half as much.
I mean, I meant to before. Oh god, this is.
Okay, so that's too kludgy.
It just feels like I'm playing like encumbered. It feels slower.
All right. Well, let's try 2.
What we had to do? Maybe we didn't actually do flat 2. It still just feels a little too floaty.
Okay.
Try 1.5. I want to see that.
And if you think there's like some monster between these, we could go like 1.75.
Oh, now we could do 7.5. That feels a lot better.
Okay.
Take me here and try it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna say that this is. Here, you fiddle around with it for a little more, like maybe go into level for like a minute or two. I'm gonna say that's good enough for the approximately 0 to 4 people who would ever play this with a GameCube controller. Like, I kind of want to just do it to do it. So,
So is B supposed to bring up the shield?
isn't it? Is it not now?
I don't know. No, it is. I don't know.
I mean, the GameCube controller is weird because it's X, right? Which is the leftmost button on the GameCube
right. You
controller.
like that, don't you? Forgot that's how you operate.
Why would you not map them positionally?
You map them based on what buttons they are.
Well, then what is a square? What is a square to an X? What? I ask you.
I'm just over here killing.
All right. Hey, that's okay. Seems acceptable to me. Like I said, for the extremely small number of people that this could ever theoretically impact, I'm going to say this is good enough. It was just kind of fun to get it in there. And then we'll have to keep an eye on the... Like, I was going to make new UI stuff for that anyway, so... At the end of the day...
See your take on the buttons.
I mean, my take is going to be, I'm going to do them as quickly and shittily as possible, and then we're either going to leave them that way or you're going to make better ones.
That's... I know what I said when I said I want to see your take on the buttons.
Alright, good enough. While you're doing that, I'm just going to Google one thing real quick, and then we'll probably just call it an evening.
Rip. Moved off of this page. I can't do a dang thing.
Darn it.
There's a square but an X with 2 more lines. Got. Oh, this junky in here.
Oh, here's a bunch of YouTube videos.
Some nastiness built up. Mm. See, I would have made B for the alternate weapon, X be your shield, and Y be your map. Is how I would have done it. That makes sense to me.
I mean, if you have strong opinions for the GameCube controller, we can make them whatever you want. But like, you're gonna try to tell me that like this is Shield on Xbox, but this is not on PlayStation. Or
I'm pretty sure I did, and then you yelled at me and changed
to that
it.
one bit. That's nonsense. That's like
You're
madness.
Pretty sure I did have them all uniquely mapped like that, and you threw a fit and then changed them.
Because that's fucking crazy.
It's called relative to the system, Dustin. I don't know if the rounding's right, if I just did something. I don't know. What happens when I go on? Oh, that's right, it's 15 total.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Well, yeah. I think.
Blah, 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 blah.
There we go.
Oh.
That might be freak out, but that's okay. I'm gonna. This adapter is still very available on Amazon. Good to know. If you want one of these, it's like $20. Surprised it hasn't. I guess they're still making them because Smash is still. Still use them with modern Smash, but.
Yeah. All she does is yell. Hey. This cat wants us to be done so she can get treats.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
yeah, it looks
letting
like
the viewers at home know.
Looks like you can install custom drivers to get the stock Nintendo one to work, so I might try to do that just for fun. I'm not gonna spend.
We have very different definitions of the word "fun."
I guess so. In any case, right on. Well, we did something kind of interesting today because I just kind of chilling out. Had an evening of.
It was an evening. You're not wrong.
Hanging out, talking a little, messing with
Excuse
stuff.
me. Goodness me.
So yeah, we'll call it an evening, and
trim.
Probably do something on Saturday, unless you have any opposition. Well, we'll see. We'll most likely be back on Saturday with some other game dev stuff. So until then, I'm gonna.
This cat though.
Reach over here and try to switch the stream nonsense.
Woo!
Oh my god, mouse, just work.
Colette.
Just fucking work. Yeah, have a good night, everyone out there in Internet Land. Brian, thank you for hanging out. Anybody else who happened to join us, thank you for passing by. You have any questions, comments, or general, words that need to be shared? You can find us on the internet at Cubicorn Games, whatever.
That's it.
Twitter, Facebook, fucking .com. It's Cubicorn Games, all of it. And until then, until next time, we'll see you later, Internet.
Bye.
Nope, that's a fire.
That's a fire.
So long.
Wah!